Hey Pottery peeps. So I'm in the studio and this week has been kind of rough. First of all, we've had some really awful weather. I love winter. It's one of my favorite seasons. And especially here where, talking to my mother-in-law this week where it's 40 below, I don't miss that. She's in Fairbanks, Alaska. And, but we had quite a few days of just above freezing and rain. And you take my old knee, no, I guess they're all new now. One's only 2 months old. And you add cold, wet rain, and it was miserable this week. Trying to get on top of pain, trying to manage pain, trying to do something. I'm at that stage where I feel better, and so frustration has rushed in because even though I feel better, like the initial really yucky stuff, and I'm not on any of the hard drugs anymore, and so you want to do stuff, and yet you've got these physical limitations, and I'm not the only one with physical limitations. All of us are going through something, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, mental, family, financial, all of us are going through something. And so I've had a lot of time to think this week because being a potter, your number one skill as a potter is your ability to problem solve. And that actually colors the rest of your life. And so you're sitting there, you can sit there and complain. I would use an expletive if I could, but we'll keep it G-rated. So yeah, when you're in these situations and life is tough, and there's only way through it, and that's literally to walk through it, right? Well, maybe not walk, and I definitely can't crawl because I'm not getting on these knees. But okay, I'm starting to ramble. Anyway, my point is you need to give yourself a break. We're tougher on ourselves, especially if you're a business owner, especially if you're trying to make a go at pottery and maybe your skill set isn't there yet, or you're somewhere like me or someone like me where I'm dying to get on that wheel and I can't. And I can be angry, or I can do something about it. So that's kind of my realization this week. I spent probably a good portion, actually most of it. Yesterday was my best day last week. All of the rest of it was just hell. So, the sun came out yesterday too, so maybe that has something to do with it. So I decided it's like this whole week I've been struggling because there's things I want to make, there's things I want to show, they're complicated, and well, with the amount of years that I've been doing this, it's interesting because those things that I want to do, the things that I have, the wedding I have, the urn I need to do, those are complicated pieces for me right now because I'm physically limited. So I just need to give myself a break, and I needed to come out here and play. So that's what today is about, is playing. Going back to some of the basics, some of the stuff that I used to do when I first got into pottery, when I didn't have a lot of tools, when I didn't have all these amazing rolling pins, right? When I only had a few things for texture or didn't, anyway, so you know what I mean on that. So we're going back to basics and we're just going to play. So what I'm going to show you is actually this or something like it, because I never make the same thing twice if I can get away with it. When I was down in St. George, Utah for ClayCon, I always stop in at the Tilted Kiln. Love that place. Here is this smaller town. I don't know what the population of St. George is, but it's pretty small. But they got this amazing pottery studio there. Joe Bott and his wife, they're the ones who put on ClayCon every year. They also have the tilted kiln. And so I went in there, and these are the 4 new stamps I got myself. So I have a bunch of these stamps. I love these wooden stamps. And if you Google wooden stamps, Amazon, I bought a whole bunch of them off of Amazon over the years. Here's my little fishies. Anyway, I love these wooden stamps. They release from the clay really well. They give great detail. And so I picked up some more stamps. And I also have, I'm not going to use these today, but Christmas present. Really nice Christmas present. And this is when you send the links to your husband. So he buys you what you need, what you want. Anyway, so we're going to play. And I'm not going to use a rolling pin. I'm going to make my own design, right? And you can take a crumpled up piece of aluminum foil. That makes amazing texture. Stuff, if you're in places that you can, that you're not having winter, I've shown on this channel where you can make texture with things out in your yard or leaves, or think outside the box of what would make good texture. And we're just going to make yourselves a bowl. And this bowl is, as you can see, as I hobble over here, the texture on this bowl is really deep. And so I did do a 3/8, maybe a little bit thicker, maybe like a tick above 3/8, because I knew I was going to really push the texture in. And this is like a serving bowl or a fruit bowl or a display bowl, or even throw your keys in a bowl. I mean, bowls can be used for so many things. Next to mugs, bowls are your next bestseller, usually. So I like making one-offs. They're special, right? Why make the same thing over and over again if you can get away with it? So let me show you what I've got going here. Oh, before I get going, I have a bunch of molds in the studio that I've made. And this is made from a thicker slab. It's been fired, of course, was fired. It was probably just shy of 1/2 inch. When you make your own molds, you want them to be thicker because they're gonna need to stand up to stuff. But I got this bowl. Actually, I think it was my sister who was cleaning out her kitchen. And this was going to the thrift store. I was like, can I have that? And so I literally made this form. And that's what I'm going to use today, use that form. So think of, you go to your thrift store, go to your kitchen. I mean, who cooks anymore? I don't, if I can get away with it. So if you're not using something in your kitchen, make a mold out of it. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead. I've already compressed this slab. And like I said, it's just like a tick above 3/8. And we're just going to start to play. All right, this is fresh out of the bag. And this is Laguna Speckled Buff by Laguna Speckled Buff. And I am doing a groggier clay. Mainly, I would probably do this out of B-Mix because especially with texture, Celadons work really, really well. But since I'm doing such deep texture, I'm not worried about the glazes I'll choose hiding it. That's another thing you can get away with deeper texture like I'm gonna do. And what I just did is I just sprinkled cornstarch. I need to put cornstarch in a sock so I can just pounce it on. If I didn't move it in or like take the brush to it, then I would get all these little dots from the cornstarch, which actually would be kind of cool too. But I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of, with the wooden stamps, they will, and this is fresh out of the bag, so it will get sticky if you don't cornstarch. So, and then I will usually, just like when you're baking or doing sugar cookies, cornstarch is your flour. So, I have haven't really even given some thought how I'm going to do this one, because I don't really want to do the same thing, but I really like the stamps that I'm still playing with the stamps. And even if I use the stamps, I might not, I mean, it'd turn out completely different. So I'm just gonna start. And I'm not gonna really care. I just want to fill it all in and make my own pattern. And if you put your stamp in, these wooden stamps are awesome. You can wiggle them in if you find that you didn't go quite deep enough, and put it in there again. So there'll be some pounding because I'll be putting it in the cornstarch. And so just wiggle back and forth. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to build. Ooh, this might be fun. I love paisley things. And this type of design is super forgiving. I mean, you can just get away with a bunch. Okay, I don't want to get too carried away with just one thing though. So I'm just going to play. I might speed you up for this. I don't know, we'll see how long this takes me. Because I'm basically just pressing into the clay. So we might just... The nice thing about this is that, especially with so many... I really like the fish, and I think the fish will be unexpected, you know? So let's put some fish in there. Let's see. I do want to kind of keep, when I start, you know, in the middle going out, kind of keep it somewhat balanced just because I like symmetry. So, but yeah, I just needed to come out here. I can only last out here for about, I think I'm up to 30 minutes, which sucks. Let's see, should we have fish go the other way? Maybe not. We'll just have fish playing. So we're trying to build me up to where I'm already off on the pattern, which is fun. When you get off, don't let it, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Just do whatever. All right. Don't I have another fish? I do. So fish are playful. Plus, you know, fishing family, commercial fishing, grew up. Probably one of the reasons why I needed new knees. I've worked my body super, super hard over the years. And slowly being rebuilt. Oh, I like these fishing around these. Swimming around, I guess not fishing around. So we're just gonna do that. But for my own mental health, I needed to come out here and play without any expectations of what I ended up with, you know? Let's see. Let's go away from the fish. And I do suggest on a, sorry, I'll see if I can't mute me making all this noise. Repeating patterns is a good idea. So like, you know, pick so many stamps or whatever and just repeat them. If you look into design, a lot of it's about repeating patterns, bringing patterns together, you know, especially, see like that one I didn't get in deep enough over there. Okay, so let's go here. But anyway, you get the idea. All right, so we're almost getting there. So you can see that something like this really doesn't take all that long to do. But you can also see that I'm getting to where I'm not round anymore. All right, so, oh no, since we've got fish, I've got this little bisque stamp that I've made, and I'm gonna go in here and just fill in any of the blank areas or the stuff that doesn't have texture. I want to fill that in too. I mean, you're making your own pattern here, but it doesn't have to actually be a pattern. Let's see, let's do one there. The more license you give yourself to play and not think too much about it, the more fun it is. This is just the end of a pin, and it makes this really cool round dot. And so I'm just filling in places that don't have texture. It almost looks like bubbles. Kind of like, you know, when you see a really cool piece of art and you sit and stare at it and you see something different each time. That's kind of what this reminds me of, doing this kind of thing. And then, of course, depending on what you could do, oxides or underglazes, celadons, your glazes are going to change the way this looks too. This is also something that's really fun for people who are new to clay. Something like this is super fun. Okay, so before I cut my bowl, I'm going to release this. And what I want to do, actually, this clay is wet since it's right out of the bag. And as you can see, it's really saturated my table. So I want to lift it up. And these stamps can go pretty deep, so be careful when you lift it up, especially if your clay is wet. You could tear your clay. All right. All right, so what I want to do, I'm going to pick this up carefully and move it to a dry part of my table. So now I need to figure out, I'm going to actually have to move you back some more. All right, let's see. Where's my knife? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to let the design dictate how I'm going to cut this. And like I said, don't overthink it. You do want to give yourself 1/4 of an inch outside of the texture. So when you're stamping your texture, don't take it right to the edge. Ooh, I got a little too close there. And I'm just, you know, like I said, I'm not overthinking this. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually put my sheet. Those of you who've been with me for a while, you've seen me do stuff with a sheet. I much prefer a good sheet. And this is just, you know, from a sheet that my husky tore a hole in. And so it's a good, nice, really nice sheet. And I cut it up and use it out here. I don't like using plastic. For one thing, you use plastic, it's a one and done kind of thing. And I get a lot of wrinkles with plastic. This is much, it's just really soft material, and I can just follow it along and smooth my edges. You'll notice I haven't added any water. And the only time I'm going to add water is when I do my feet. Your fingers are actually a potter's best tool. You can fill more things with your fingers without even seeing them. It's interesting, when I was thinking about this project, what I could do that wouldn't physically tax me too much, and yet still do something creative that I enjoy, just to kind of get my feet wet again. And I remembered that every time I make one of these bowls, they're gone. I sell them super fast, and I don't do them very often. I usually it's kind of one of those things I show new students how to do. But it really should be something that I'm doing all the time because they're super fun. Okay, now that I've got this, I will look around to see if there's any other place that could benefit from some more texture. I love dots too. Don't they just look like happy fish? One thing I love about this kind of mold, I can use it as a slump. I could lift this up and literally put it in here, but I want to put feet on it. So I can also use it as a hump. So look around, bowls you're not using, or go to your thrift stores or garage sales. I'm always looking for interesting shapes that I can make molds. And all it costs you is your clay and firing. Okay, stop moving. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick this up. And when you pick it up, of course you're not seeing me, I'm going to actually pull you back. When I pick this up, I don't want to stretch the clay. If I just picked it up on one side, I would stretch the clay. This is pretty big slab anyway, and I just want to get that on there. I don't even really care how it goes on at this point. I just want to get it on there. So now what I love is how organic we can make these. To me, I mean, you've added your own texture. I can kind of see where my middle started, but it doesn't really matter. All right, I'm going to pull you closer now. Okay, once I get it on here, I'm going to take my red rib, and I just want to, I'm not pressing hard, I just want to smooth this down, because like this is super wet. And because it's been pressed into the table, it's not smooth on the back. And there'll be other, I mean, I actually will spend more time on this after it stiffens up because it's easier. But I do want to concentrate on the bottom here. And I will manipulate these. I like that it actually hits the table here. And you can also, let's see, where is, oh, hold on. Paper towels. So if I want to lift some of this, ooh, I like that. See, we're playing. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. And as it stiffens up, I will manipulate it more. But I'm going to get the clay set up so I can show you how I do my feet. So now I'm going to make some feet. And these are going to be very organic. I'm going to use that paisley again. And I'm just going to do 3. Doing a triangle feet, it's easier to get them level than like say 4 or more. Okay. And then I'm gonna just loosely cut around these guys. Oops, got a little too close there. That's okay, it'll still work. Bring my sheet in again. I don't want any sharp edges. We're going to distort these. And this can work for any design. On the feet on the other one, I used this stamp, that stamp. So we'll see how these turn out. So I'm just going to knock that sharp edge off. All right, so the way that I want to do these feet is I literally just want to roll them up so that I have that. Just make sure you're rolling from the same side. Not scoring and slipping. This is really wet clay. Plus, this is where the fun begins. I am going to drop them. And I like that I kind of get a curl. That one's not as tight as the other one. Really won't matter. So I kind of get them, I slam them enough to where they're somewhat the same height. We're going to level them off in a bit. All right, so let's bring you over here. I really like get a triangle, triangle cookie cutter, okay? And with a bowl like this, I mean, granted, I've got more clay off on this side than I do this side, but you just kind of find your middle, right? And then I'm just gonna give it a mark. But this is a really easy way to find or measure your triangle. And so, but I'm gonna actually go off that mark and score on the outside of it, because I do have a fairly good sized bowl here. Score these guys. I'm gonna set that one there. Let's see, I do want the curl to go the same direction, facing out. Curl as in the end. All right, so I can still see where my tick mark was. Make sure. Yep. Now I'm just going to twist these guys on until they catch. Okay. And then the water and the slip. You're making your own slip here. And then since you scored it, it's going to grab onto each other. So just take your time and just twist them until they catch. And then I'm just going to clean them up. I'm not going to, I mean, the feet themselves are art, you know? So I'm just going to make sure I get that slip off. And if I have any score marks that didn't get covered up, take care of them. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm working with really wet clay. I twisted them on. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I need to put my maker's mark. And I don't want to press it in because it's going to press that texture out that's on the inside. So just going to cut it out. If you have a small mark, it won't hurt. But if you, this one's a fairly good size one. So, and now I'm just going to put that on. And I'm just using water out of my bucket. And basically what I'm doing is I'm building the slip up, having a little bit of water on my scoring tool and scratching enough to where I'm making slip, okay? And then start from the inside, work your way out when you do a medallion, because you don't want to trap any air. If you trap any air, it's going to pop off on you in the kiln. And then again, I will go around and get all the slip out. Okay, so basically all I need to do now is wait. because it needs to set up. Make sure did I put a mark there? I could sit and fiddle with this and clean up the edges and that kind of thing. But if I give it some time, what do they say? All good things come to those who wait. And I am so impatient. So I'm going to give it some time, let it all set up, and come back out here in a few hours and take it off. Well, I probably won't take it off the form. The really cool thing about putting something like this on this type of form is that it can shrink and just kind of go up the form, you know? It's loosely shaped on this form. So I still have a lot of time to play with it. Oh, shoot. The most important thing when you do feet like this, take a bat, set it on your feet. Every studio should have a level. See, if you can see where my bubble is, level those feet out. And just press them. You don't have to press hard. Get the bubble in the middle. You want to do it more than one direction. You could also do this where they're not level. And then you would get where it would be higher on one end, which could be super cool. Ooh, I need to try that now. But, so now it's level. I'm just gonna leave it, and then I'll come back in a few hours, and we'll see what it looks like, all right? Okay, it's about 5 hours later, and I've pushed it too far. I'm gonna really pay for this later. But I've had fun out here, and no pain, no gain, right? So I think it's stiff enough now that I can take it off the form, and I made another one, but that one isn't. This is why I'm sweating and in a lot of pain, is because it's like, sure, it won't take me long to make another. Always takes you longer than you think it's gonna take. Also, just, I always try to get a video up on Saturday. Lately, since I'm not running the studio and not calling the schedule, I've only been able to film in here on Saturday. So it's going to be, for a while, probably Saturday night. If things get bad, it'd be Sunday. So it'd be on the weekend. But I will try for Saturday night until I can get back to my schedule. But my weeks are taken with physical therapy. That's my life right now. My social group is physical therapy. All right, let's see what this looks like. I'm just going to put it on this bat that we've been using. And the nice thing about this bowl working as a slump and also as a hump bowl, I can get my hand in it. Okay, let's see what we got. I did spend a lot of time cleaning it up too. So, all right. Well, that's kind of cool. You just never know what these are going to look like. And I could use these over here. So let me just stick them into there. I will take a picture of this. And to give you an idea, when you're making things like this, always make sure they're not wider than your kiln. So I'm good. It's about 18 inches diameter, but isn't that cool? That's gonna look super cool. So I'm going to, actually I can see some little bit more cleanup that I need to do now that I've got it here. I just want to look at it and make sure that I'm still level. All right, cool. All right, that's it for me. Man, my hair looks yellow in this light. I've got a really pretty sunset hitting the studio. Started this morning. When the humidity is high, sure takes a lot longer. Anyway, I will catch you in the next video. Again, I am playing it by ear. That's pretty much every day. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm playing it by ear. So that's about all I can do. So I will keep trying to get a video out every weekend, just so I can get in the studio. It's pushing me to get in here, even though I'm only supposed to be in here 30 minutes at a time. So today I've probably been in here 30 minutes 5 times. I don't think that's what they meant. Anyway, I'm gonna go, and you guys go get money. And if you make something like this, send me a picture. Love to see what you do. Okay, we'll see you later.